about 4 o'clock, about to pick up the kids from school, and I'm a little crabby because ever since the Super Bowl, kind of took a half a day off. Ever since the Super Bowl, it's been a chain reaction of compounding lateness on projects and schedule, and I just haven't been able to catch up. And I don't see things clearing up for the next 4 days. Preparations tomorrow for Amy's birthday, then the weekend with the kids, and the kids have Monday off for President's Day. So maybe on Tuesday I can get back on track, but it's hard. The good news is I got like 5 paychecks today. They all just decided to come at once. So this was a therapy day, and like I mentioned last week, pretty much takes up the whole day. I have to take the kid to therapy, be a part of therapy, take her back to school, drive back home, and then most of the day is finished. And that's all fine. I'm okay with that. From a selfish standpoint, it doesn't make for an interesting or productive day. Just 2 quick stories about that therapy experience. Number 1, we had a good discussion with the therapist who described in using toys and stories the 2 paths that little kids can traverse depending on how they're nurtured as kids. She told the story of one baby whose parent was preoccupied with just their own problems and difficulties and sicknesses and so forth. And whenever the baby cried out for help, it was scared or hungry, the parent maybe wasn't as responsive or didn't validate that baby's feelings and just said, just take care of yourself or something like that. Versus another child who is cared for and acknowledged, and whenever the baby starts crying or needs a diaper change, the parent runs over and grabs them up and takes care of them immediately. Those 2 directions can lead to drastically different outlooks of the world. The child that didn't have that nurturing becomes very self-reliant, not trusting of the world, not trusting of themselves, definitely doesn't trust parents or adults. They have to fend for themselves, and that can mean lying and stealing. It's the only way of life that makes sense. It's the only way to survive, because you can't rely on that parent when you have to have a need met, because historically they haven't helped you out. So what you do, you turn inward and you have a warped sense of your surroundings and can have some very difficult relationships as you grow up. Okay, so that was a kind of a somber story, but definitely interesting to think about some of the challenges that traumatized kids have faced, how we should set our expectations as we try to parent them and so forth. Second story, I stayed up way too late again last night. This has become a tradition and a habit and a lifestyle, and it needs to change. But anyway, I stayed up late. I was very tired. I went out to the car while, during a portion of the therapy session, I wasn't involved. And I went out to the van just to see if I could catch a few winks. And there's this lady in the parking lot. My eyes were closed. I just heard this screaming like, help me, help me. I was like, whoa, this is for real. So I saw someone over there, and I got out of the van and I walked over to her and I said, "Are you okay? What's wrong?" And the lady said, I'm just nervous. I'm nervous. I said, what's going on here? And she said, "It's windy. It's the wind. I'm just..." And she was just really anxious and terrified of just the wind. But she eventually calmed down and said she was okay, and then she had someone else come pick her up. But I don't think I've ever dealt with a situation like that where someone was genuinely mentally troubled like that, where even the wind can disturb them. Yeah, I understand I was at a therapist's office, and obviously she was getting some care. And I don't tell that story to be funny or to make fun of her, but it was very sad and makes me more cognizant of how we parent our children so that they can be stabilized and have realistic expectations of the world and be able to face those winds of fear and anxiety without grasping onto a car and screaming for help. like this poor lady was. So anyway, good luck out there, parents. Take care of your kids, meet their needs. Okay, me and the kids are going to support group at DICON. It's basically a group that gets together and discusses foster and adoption issues once a month. And there's childcare, which the kids enjoy because they get a snack, play with toys, all that stuff. All right, let's get in there. We're running late, of course.
Daddy, help me open the door. Please. And my feet is cold. Hello, my name's Penny. Who's your name? Are you a boy or a girl? Okay. I don't know what your name is. Oh, that's a great name.
I mean, if you really need it.
Can you actually tell me what your name is?
Be good today, okay?
Please. Please.
All right, let's go.
Oh, that's a great name. Okay. Why are you